Shalom WJC family. It's time for our weekly Torah talk. This week in synagogue we will be reading Parshat Terumah from the middle of the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. And I want to take the opportunity today to use Parshat Terumah to talk about love. Not only love between God and the Jewish people, but sort of love between us and other people, other things, that which we are dedicated to in a loving relationship. And Parshat Terumah teaches us a lot about love, although it might not look like that on the surface. The Torah portion is about God commanding the Jewish people to build the Tabernacle, the dwelling place for God's presence in the world. Or maybe we should call it a focal point for God's presence, since God is everywhere and in everything. And God commands that they should take a collection and that people should give however much their heart moves them, which is an interesting command. It is not that that the Torah has a problem with commanding amounts of giving. It does it frequently in other places. But for this, the creation of the Mikdash, the creation of the holy place, where that will serve as a meeting point for God and the Jewish people, that spot, the donations should come voluntarily. To understand why is to understand a very important idea about love and what we love and why. So these commands about Terumah are stuck sort of in the middle of the narrative of the book of Exodus. We just had the revelation at Sinai, which was followed by the giving of a whole litany of civil law that we got last week in Parshat Mishpatim. At the end of that parsha, the narrative pushed forward a little, and Moshe brought the idea of this covenant of laws before the people, and the people said, Na'aseh v'nishma, we will do and we will hear, basically signing on the dotted line before they knew the details, very famously, because it's backwards, or it should be, we will hear and then we'll do. But the people were so enthusiastic, whatever you tell us, we'll do. And the very next thing that God commands, or close to it, is these rules of Terumah. So why bring these laws right here? And then the narrative will continue, by the way, later on, after we get the laws of the Tabernacle, with the narrative of the golden calf and all of that. So why Terumah here? Why giving freely here? And it highlights an idea that Rav Eliyahu Dessler, very famous Musar rabbi, said, which is that the way that love works is that we love that which we give to. Right? Normally we say, we love that which we take from. Right? We love our parents because they give us a lot. They take care of us. Or we love a romantic partner because they give us love or joy or happiness. But Rav Dessler says actually a deeper level of love comes the opposite way. We actually love that which we give to. It's why we love our children. As much as children love their parents, there's a different kind of love of the parent for the child, not because they get so much from the child, but because they have given so much to the child, sacrificed so much of their life and their freedom for the child, willingly, joyfully, as their heart moves them, you might say. And so that is why we're told, it says, Vayikhu li Terumah, right? Which means Vayikhu, take for me Terumah. Now, you would expect it to say, Vayitnu li Terumah, give to me Terumah. But actually, there's a sense of taking, Vayikhu, right? That ultimately, by giving over this truma, by taking from their own things and giving it to God the way that they are so moved, it is ultimately a way to accept this relationship of mutual affection. And that is a profound concept of giving, of this idea of gifts, that gifts are an ability for us to take responsibility. And when we take responsibility, ultimately, we develop that sense of love. And so the question as we read Parshat Terumah this week is, what is it that we are dedicating our treasure to, our resources, or our time, or our affection and our feelings, or our wisdom, or our craftsmanship? How are we taking truma, taking responsibility for things in order to build that sense of love and responsibility and affection? And are we putting those resources in the places that we say we really love, the things that we really think are priorities to us? We all want to have these deep, loving relationships in family, in community. Perhaps the lesson of Terumah is one that we can all use. How should I dedicate my resources, take them from my own and give them to another in a way that ultimately not only expresses my love, but also strengthens that love, strengthens the bond between us, between me and my family, between me and my community, between me and the institutions that I find to be most important. I say in my head are most important. How do I build that bond in my heart through how I give of myself? A lot to reflect on this Shabbat. Wish you a Shabbat Shalom.